But you were tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we bring you way too much information. I'm Manila Chan, producer Robbie right there in the middle, Ted Rall. It is Wednesday, July 29th, 2026. We're live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Please be sure to hit the like, the share, the follow button, all of that good stuff to help the little show continue to grow.
Manila, people are only, so you need to take out the, turn off remember, take the video out. People can't see us.
Take the video out.
So you need to turn me into an administrator. Otherwise, and I can do it, but
I just made you one, Ted.
Okay, Rob, you got control back?
Yeah, I just logged on TMI.
Okay, so listen, Manila, go into the elements where you played the intro music, the intro. Yep. Okay, click that and remove it.
Oh, that's annoying. So when that ends, that doesn't
I told you
away.
about this, remember?
On the media. Oh, that's annoying.
All right. Yeah, did you do it?
Okay, now can everybody see us?
Also, you have to make Robbie and I administrators.
I just did. I logged in on TMI on my desktop. And
did you make me an administrator too?
I did.
Okay, should be. It's weird. I don't think I am, and I don't see the. Yeah. Oh, I don't see it.
I put the logo back up there. Is that working?
The logo's fine. Yeah, on the upper right.
There it is. Mm-hmm.
It never went away.
It did on my end for a minute, but anyway, we are kink shaming Rumble because it's still not as smooth as the other program, but at least you guys get a clear picture when the picture works. So there be it. Anyway, I was just watching the Dr. Fauci testimony. A lot of Fifth Amendments there, Ted. A lot of Fifth Amendments.
Okay, Ted, try jumping out, then coming back in. You should be an administrator now.
Got it. Okay, thank you. That would make sense.
I know, Robbie, you guys were in the show, but I had, I'm dealing with a baby, and I had the news on, and they cut straight to the full hearing with Dr. Fauci now that his diary is released, and all of this dirt about how he handled. I
don't see the elements. Where are they? Anyway,
I don't know what Ted, what you mean.
Robbie, you know.
Yeah. So, are you able to see everything? Like, do you have the administrator dashboard now?
No.
Yeah. If you have the administrator, then it'll populate on the far right.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have that.
So bizarre. All right.
Anyway, all right.
I don't know.
Y'all keep doing y'all's thing. I'll play on this.
Let's just roll. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was watching the Fauci thing and a lot of Fifth Amendments. I know he has the right to do that, but it certainly does not look good on his part.
No, that's for sure.
Infuriating, given that his diary was leaked out and it showed a lot of narcissistic tendencies, we'll say, Ted, to say the least.
Well, it is a diary. Honestly, if you can't be narcissistic in your own diary, what is the point of having
But he was a narcissist.
Diary?
He was a narcissist. He showed us his narcissism inadvertently in all his press interviews, where the background he has like all his own like memorabilia, right? Like other people might have things that like behind me, like you can see books, you can see like Russian nesting dolls and whatever. They're not like framed photos of me at the Emmys or what,
Yeah, that shit's always weird when people do that.
He had like a whole wall of himself. So that was a glimpse into the narcissism there. And now that the diary's out, it's kind of like,
that's a grifter thing where you have like all these, people who put their diplomas up and stuff like that.
I hate that. I'm like, what,
I kind of understand like in an old school way, like back in the day, like doctors would look, I really went to med school. Okay. I guess that's good to know before you operate on me. But in general.
But when you're doing press interviews and you specifically curated your background, right? Like everything's in there for a reason, right? And Fauci had like his own bobbleheads, his own, like, it's not diplomas and stuff. These are like,
well, the bobblehead is funny. I think I could see putting that there.
I don't know. I wish I could say I was completely over his handling of COVID, but just not. And then I gotta say,
Why,
did
he do something wrong?
Phileas Fob, one of 2 comments here. I guess it was long. Thank you for the donation. Phileas Fob says, Robbie's immigration position, look into ethnic or group density effect, i.e. increased likelihood of becoming schizophrenic as one becomes even just less of a majority in one's neighborhood. I mean, I guess we're waiting for the second portion of that. But thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. So yeah, we'll get into the news, and when the other half of this comment comes through, I'll read that.
Well, let's not wait here for that.
No,
Let's keep going. I mean, we're going really.
to. Yeah, so just letting Phileas know. We'll get to that once you're done writing. All right. All right. So first things first, Ted. The 2028 presidential field. Pretty much in all the polls, pretty much everybody is underwater, hence the thumbnail. Everybody hates 2028 because it's kind of like, do you want a shit sandwich? Do you want a shit pizza? Do you want a shit salad? A shit soup? Shit is on the menu. That's all.
That's what we like to know.
This
shit, it's what's for dinner.
Yeah. All right, Phileas, the second part of the comment says, EGC Baker et al. 2021, which is a meta-analysis with loads of references. A good starting point down this rabbit hole. And Manchild, thank you for your donation. Manchild says, do not accept type premise of the question. Do not accept it? Like, reject the donations? Yeah. Or do you...
So you got to take the jaws off, because now I'm going to just see a black screen because the jaws are still technically
still there.
Manila,
every time.
Anytime you use an element, visual element, you must unclick out of it when it's done. Every single time.
Otherwise, it just stays there.
Oh my God.
You'll get used to it, but it is a pain in the ass.
That is so dumb. That is so dumb on Rumble's part.
Yes.
Like if you don't loop a video element, it should go away on its own.
It is stupid. I agree.
So clunky. All right.
It is. It's retarded. But now though, people are able to see us, and do not worry, man-child. I will not accept the question. I will go back. I will go back to the back. You are Robbie free, and I forgive you for calling me a hateful bastard.
Because you do know who your dad is. So, all right. So the 2028 presidential campaign, they haven't officially begun, but voters already have opinions about the possible candidates, and most of these opinions are negative. Any surprise? A July Harvard CAPS/Harris poll, nothing to do with Kamala, measured the national favorability of several prominent political figures. Here's what the potential presidential field ranked by net favorability looks like. Mm-hmm. Marco Rubio actually comes out on top. Marco freaking Rubio.
I think it'll be great to have our first gay president.
Gay Latino president.
Yeah.
No, he's married.
Yeah.
To apparently his high school sweetheart, who was a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. Although I've never ever heard her speak.
I'm sure he likes to play with many guys' dolphins.
She was a Miami Dolphins cheerleader. That's all I know. I guess they knew each other from high school and
classic
then
beard.
started dating in college, whatever. But she was a Dolphins cheerleader in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So he has a 36% favorable rating, 35% unfavorable. So he's a net +1. Mm-hmm. Okay, so these aren't good numbers. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. Everybody's numbers are bad. They're all in the toilet. But now we're measuring on who's least hated. Everybody's hated, but least hated is Marco with a +1. Then JD Vance, 40% favorable, 43% unfavorable.
I would argue that even though
-3.
he's under 3, I would say that in this sort of quiet race between Rubio and Vance is ahead, despite being -3 as opposed to +1, because
his favorability.
He has 40% favorable as opposed to 36% favorable. In other words, more people know who Vance is. And for that reason, same thing with Rubio's unfavorables are 35 as opposed to Vance's 43. But again, more people know who Vance is.
Are aware.
And name recognition is by far the most important thing at this stage in the race.
It is. It's like going to the store to buy bread, right? Like
everybody knows
might Wonder
not
Bread.
Be good, but you know it.
But you know it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, 30% favorable, 36% unfavorable. She's a net -6. It gets worse. Kamala Harris has a 41% favorable. So she has so far the highest
polled her.
favorability.
She said herself she's not running.
She's teasing that she maybe hasn't ruled it out. Haven't you heard the latest?
She's not running.
She's teasing. She's teasing and saying maybe.
She's just trying to sell books.
48% unfavorable. So she's a net -7. Then Gavin Newsom.
I think she's overperformed.
Then Gavin Newsom.
She's a major
30%.
fuck up.
He and AOC are about the same. 30% favorable, 38% unfavorable. He's a net -8. Rubio is the only conventional 2028 contender tested who is technically above water and only by 1 percentage point. Vance has the strongest overall standing after Rubio, although most voters still dislike him than like him. Harris has the highest favorability rating in the Democratic field at 41%, but she also has the highest unfavorable at a whopping 48%, reflecting both her national prominence and the political baggage left from the 2024 campaign. AOC and Newsom are viewed favorably only by 30% of voters, but their lower overall number also suggests more voters remain undecided about them, particularly AOC. Within their parties, however, the pictures look different. The same poll found Kamala Harris leading the hypothetical Democratic primary with 37%, followed by Newsom at 24%. Pete Buttigieg received 10%. AOC and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro each received 9%. So that's within their party. So they're not really, the party's not big on them, I guess. Among Republicans.
It's just really early. You know,
it's never too early, Ted. Instead of running like 8 months out, 1 year out, we keep stretching it. So like your campaign is starting now. If you want to.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, the donor campaign began years ago, but yeah,
it begins as soon as the last one ends.
But the voters aren't paying attention yet.
They're not zeroed in on it yet. Among Republicans, Vance led with 42%.
He'll be the nominee.
He's more popular in the party.
I think so. He absolutely will be the nominee.
Rubio followed at 22%. That's a steep jump between the two.
For a gay man, that's pretty good inside the GOP.
No, in the party?
Yeah.
No, but he is the conventional neocon-esque, like, it seems like Trump hasn't really anointed his heir apparent yet. And it doesn't mean Vance is it just because he's VP. Lately, Trump has been teasing that Rubio is really sneaking up behind Vance. Trump Jr. received 18% favorability.
Come on, we got to go Eric Trump instead because he's the really dumb one. Not that Don Jr. is smart, but
But between them, and then RFK, who I don't know why they're pulling with RFK in here because he's an independent now.
Because he obviously he's
not a Republican.
Registered.
He's an independent.
He's the Trump administration cabinet secretary. So yeah, he's a Republican now.
He's not technically a Republican. And then Nikki Haley, who's digging her back up?
She's disgusting.
They polled at 6% each. The survey questioned 1,776 registered voters on July 11th and 12th. has a margin of error of approximately 2.3 percentage points. The takeaway is not that any candidate is dominating America. Kamala Harris and J.D. Vance currently lead within their parties. Rubio has the best personal rating because he's the only one above water. In other words, the race to become president may begin as a contest to determine who voters dislike the least.
Well,
And
always.
that's increasingly, it's always been like
Always,
that, but it's
yeah.
increasingly, I think, the case. Like, what has happened in America, Ted, that we went from voting, it seemed this way anyway, at least in the black and white videos I've seen, we went from someone voting for somebody because they inspired you to get out there to vote to now you're like, I gotta pick something. Like, I don't know, what do you feel like today? Like a shit sandwich? Shit soup? Shit,
Well,
like what?
I have a theory as to why this is the case, and you guys can shoot it down. My theory is this. Okay, so first of all, between the two parties, with polarization, I mean, people have discovered, particularly Donald Trump really proved it, that the base strategy beats the swing voter strategy. It used to be conventional wisdom, particularly among Democrats, was that basically 45% of the country was always going to vote Democrat, 45% was always going to vote Republican, and you were fighting. Every election was about fighting for those 10% of swing voters. Donald Trump proved, and I have always believed, that was bullshit. There aren't that many swing voters, and that what you really want to do is enthuse your base and get your 45% of voters to the polls. And maybe the other 45% of who are on the other side are less likely to show up to the polls. So what that means is you're going to get polarized, more ideological candidates in both parties, which means that when you have the general election, each voter's parties, as whether they may or may not be that enthusiastic about their own side, but the prospect of losing is going to be terrifying. So let's say you're a Democrat and you're getting ready to vote, but the Republican is not just like a George H.W. Bush style Republican, but is a hard-line asshole, shithead, right-wing fucktard. You're totally terrified by this person, right? So you're voting against the person that you hate the most. Conversely, if you have the same exact conversation if you're a Republican and you're scared of some woke shithead, libtard, PC, like trans, whatever. Again, you're terrified of that lunatic instead, and as opposed to
vote for the other.
Yeah, like if Walter Mondale wins, you're not happy, but if that happens, you're not going to kill yourself or leave the country, right? So now within the parties, you're getting the same exact phenomenon because both parties are now split between their corporatist and their populist wings, okay? So we effectively have two sub-parties within the two major parties, so that's 4 sub-parties total. So in the primaries, again, the more you're going to get the ideologue. So within the Democratic Party, let's say you're looking at the race in Michigan right now, and let's say Syed loses, which it looks right now like he will lose this Michigan Senate race due to all the AIPAC money. Well, if you're a progressive and you live in Michigan, you're furious that Haley Stevens wins, right? Not like, oh, well, I can live with her. She's not too bad. She's not my top choice. Ditto in the Republican Party. If you have, let's say you're a J.D. Vance supporter, you would be furious to think of the idea of a Rubio coming to power or vice versa again. So with that increased polarization, it's the polarization and the lack of fighting over swing votes within the parties and between the parties. That's my theory as to why you're seeing these kind of numbers where people are just voting increasingly against rather than for.
Right. I mean, that is, I would say your theory holds water for sure. I'm just criticizing like where the whole election process has gotten, specifically in regards to the whole Citizens United issue, where all of this big money comes in and poisons the well for everybody. I think that's how, one, we have to have election reforms, number one, from the ground fucking up. It's the changes that have been made,
Like what?
for example, like Citizens United, is allowing too much interest, like rich people, personal oligarch interest or corporate interest or whatever, to poison the well for everybody. And our whole, like, the fact that we don't have we have a piecemeal patchwork quilt federal election system across states. Because if it's going to be a federal election, I feel like if there's any one federal control over the elections, it should be president, right? But that doesn't exist. All the powers are within the state, and how people get on ballots and how people, like, how they distribute the ballots, how, voter ID, all of that stuff. It's a patchwork quilt. And I don't know exactly what reforms I would do if I had the power to change it. But the first thing I would repeal is fucking Citizens United. Like, let's get all the big money out, because they are never in the interest.
That's a Supreme Court decision. So it's not going to be repealed under the present 6-3 majority. The only thing that could fix it is something that will not happen, which is to have a Congress pass a law that effectively replaces Citizens United. And Congress isn't going to do that because they're the ones collecting the big grift. So, I mean, this is like asking cartoonists to, accept lower salaries, and cartoonists have to vote for it. Or accepting, like, Manila, let's you and I decide, do we want TMI Show to pay us less or more? We're going to vote, I know, more. So, hey, we could be corrupted by big money interests. We would probably be open to taking that money, right? The only exception would be if, like, let's say there's Bernie Sanders' small donor model where he refuses to take that kind of money, not that it's being offered to him anyway, but he's collecting, like, what is it, $39 or $29 per person, so he's okay, right? And he's not going to get those $29 per person if he accepted money from AIPAC. But you need a model. There's no realistic model for this ever being fixed. So we shouldn't even talk about it.
Ugh. It's just, we keep piling on more shit on top of the shit pile we already have. PW Walker, thank you so much for the donation. Walker says, playing to the fears of the base also means you don't have to promise as much and or be accountable for failing to deliver. Yeah, that's true. And then if you're Donald Trump, then you obviously build a base of, like, sycophants and cult of personality, and then they just worship everything you say or do, and you don't have to be accountable. So, there's that too. But anyway, Robbie, I think, is completely wrong. Robbie says, I'm calling it. It'll be Rubio Haley. No fucking way. What a big losing tank of a ticket. No fucking way. No way.
Well, not to mention, it's just not going to happen because, Vance is the sitting president, the vice president of the United States. I mean, when is the vice president ever snubbed and passed over? Never.
I'm telling y'all, it's going to be Rubio and it's going to be Haley. That's who the RNC is after. And let me make the case.
Well, they would like it, but how are they going to sideline Vance, who's been a loyal lieutenant the entire time?
Vance has sidelined himself by refusing to take a side. That's Vance's problem. People on the right like me do not trust him. The corporatist Republicans
He's still
do
the
not
vice
trust
president
him.
of the United States. How are you going to sideline him?
It's just a title. It doesn't matter. He's not going to get the support. He's not going to get it.
The RNC will install Vance because he's the Veep. It's why Kamala, despite everything, was the pick. Right?
The RNC will anoint Rubio. He checks the boxes. He's a child of immigrants.
No one will ever work be a vice president in a Republican ticket again if that's the case.
Right.
Part of the reason you agree to be a vice president and to suck up all that, like, bullshit that you have to deal with is because you will be president, or at least you'll get to run.
Ascension. Yeah.
But you got to remember, that's a relatively new phenomenon in American politics. It used to be the Secretary of State was the heir apparent.
Yeah, but you're okay. You want to go back to what, 1940 or whatever? I mean, but we're not there. It's been 85 years.
Culture
That's just
has
not
changed,
true.
Yeah.
Ted, we don't know where we are right now because there's a civil war right now in both parties. The corporatists have this locked up as far as elections. Listen.
Yes, the corporatists own the parties.
The corporatists like Rubio. That's why Trump is like...
The corporatists are going to want Vance.
No, the big tech bros like Vance.
Tech bros like Vance, not the corporatists. I'm telling y'all,
corporatists like Rubio. That's true.
It's going to be Rubio, and it's going to be Haley. It's going to be the Cuban and the war carrot. That's who it's going to be.
But the tech bros own the world right now. They are the masters of the universe.
They want stability, and so how do you get stability?
Peace.
You get
Vance.
You get stability. Vance is a pussy. He's not going to do anything. He hasn't done anything already.
He's the vice president. The vice president's not supposed to do anything.
He goes to funerals. That's all he does.
I mean, you're not going to get stability under Rubio. You're going to be at war constantly. I mean, he's even going to be at war in Cuba.
And that's good.
Yes.
And listen, that's good for big tech. Ted, who is it that makes the AI that's being used to kill people? War is good business, man.
Yeah, but Vance is literally their tech bro. Like Vance literally worked for Peter Thiel.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a failed investment. So what do? You don't double down, throw good money after bad. Listen, we have got 12 countries locked up in a war right now, maybe about to expand.
I think it's more like 13, but yeah.
Those missiles aren't going to make themselves. That's big money. And
all right, let's talk about the Democratic side. It's going to be Pete Buttigieg on the Democratic side.
No, it's not. Even within the party, the article even says Pete is polling at 6% within the party.
He'll still be the nominee.
He is not going to be an insurgent.
Okay, listen. Let's go through these.
Newsom.
First, okay, Newsom. It can't be Newsom because he's from California, and when you run as the governor of a state, your state can't be in miserable condition, and everybody, rightly or wrongly, believes that California is a shithole. So nobody wants to do. Oh, what? I mean, you can imagine the Republican attack ads, like all the pictures of like the meth heads in L.A. It'll be like, Gavin Newsom, he'll do for America what he did for California. I mean, come on. It's all. I mean, the party leaders know this.
No, I'm not saying it looks good. I'm just
going
saying
to be vice president. He will be vice president.
The Democratic field is worse off, worse off than the GOP.
Newsom has this sex scandal right now, and he's also a straight, cis, able-bodied white male.
I know.
The Democratic Party
greasy, slick back hair. That
Democratic Party. He's an old school. Yeah, he's basically a Democratic Party politician from the 70s. Right now, they're going to be looking for we'll go for Buttigieg. He's articulate. He is gay. But he's still a white dude. And he's not like a flamer. He's not like walking around like rainbow this, rainbow that. But we want to always be able to say as Democrats that we're making history, right?
Oh,
That's
God.
always our thing.
I think
we're not making any difference. We're making history, but we're not making a difference, right? But
because they know it's fucking stupid and it's unwinnable to have this, we're making history by electing or placing so-and-so on top of the ticket. I think they realize that's a losing strategy, and they're trying to I don't think they have a strategy right now. So they're scrambling to try to figure out who, but it ain't Pete. Pete is polling at 6% within his own party, and they try to ram Pete down our throat for the past 10 years.
If you're Buttigieg, you don't want to. You don't want to peak. You should know this, Manila. You don't want to peak out early. You don't want to be like. You know how the people they first talk about early on are they are the people. Then all the spotlight is on them, and then nobody. And then things come up. It's going to be Booty.
Thank you for the dono. Manchild says, why don't we just pick a name out of a hat? Everyone has a 1 in 350 million chance to be president. In fact, in ancient Greece, Socrates I believe it was Socrates, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm thinking way back here to 20 plus years ago. I believe it was Socrates who served on, what do they call like their parliament in Greece? I guess, I don't know. For all intents and purposes, their parliament. He was
The
forced
Senate?
to serve their Senate. I don't know. Whatever they called their,
That's what it
I
was
mean,
in
Cryptate.
Rome.
It was the crypteia. It was the body,
Crypteia.
the
I knew
body
there was,
politic.
thank you. I knew there was a name. I couldn't remember it. But Socrates was pulled basically out of a hat, his name, and he was forced to do it because like that was how they did it back then. And
Well,
there you go. But
all
how,
right,
well,
listen,
how many
we have 3 more
Socrates do we
stories.
have?
Let's roll.
America ain't full of those Socrates.
Now remember, if you jaws, you have to unjaws.
Ugh, fucking annoying. All right.
Are you doing it? Unjaws.
All right.
Okay. A conservative think tank official walked into a Senate office building carrying what authorities say was the most catastrophically packed briefcase since someone invented airport security. Matthew Christopher Wingate, government relations director for defense and foreign policy at the Heritage Foundation, right-wing think tank, entered Washington's Russell Senate office building on July 14th and put his briefcase on the X-ray scanner. And what we could see inside was a pistol magazine. That's not a magazine that you read about pistols. It is a clip full of bullets. When an officer asked whether one was inside, Wingate said, there shouldn't be, but there was. According to the cops, there were 10 rounds of 9mm ammo in there. He did have a valid Washington concealed carry license, but told the investigators he forgot that the magazine was in the bag, as one can easily do. Ammunition is not obviously allowed inside Senate office buildings. The authorities say that then an exterior pocket contained a sandwich bag holding 4 capsules and 3 blue, apparently hand-pressed tablets. A handheld testing device produced a presumptive positive result for cocaine and fentanyl. Wingate told the investigators that the substances belong, when he said blue pill, I thought it was like Viagra. The substances belonged to him and had been prescribed by a medical professional, like named Elon. A presumptive field test is not the same as a final lab confirmation. So we'll see what happens here. He's pled not guilty to misdemeanor controlled substance charges, is out on the loose, running the main streets of D.C., due back in court a month from now on the 27th of August. No comment from he or his lawyers.
Or Heritage.
This reminds me a little bit of, well, it's sort of like the cocaine found in at the White House.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of what's her name, Brittany Griner, when she got arrested at the airport in Russia with her weed juice. Yeah. I mean, like, you're going to a country that has zero tolerance policy for drugs. Maybe you should be careful when you pack your bag, if you're a druggie.
And like this dude. Well, here's the thing. And I've been to the Heritage Foundation many times to do interviews and stories and whatever. And they're all very nice.
Is every man
do they offer
legally required to wear a bow tie?
Kind of. Surprisingly, Ted, nobody offered me any fentanyl or cocaine.
Well,
what am I doing wrong?
That's just not polite.
That's very impolite. Up until this point, I didn't know this was a thing at Heritage.
Yeah, that's everyone knows. Duh.
I thought they were all like GOP dorks there. Very nice. I thought they were all egghead dorks. But here's homeboy over here rocking, his mag full and baggies full of coke and fentanyl, showing up to the Russell building, which I've been to a million times. So how do you not know that shit is in there? And you're carrying a briefcase, so clearly you're showing up to go lobby somebody, right? Like you're showing up to go talk to a senator. Who are you planning on sharing this shit with?
Well, wait a minute. I mean, what? You don't, I mean, okay, he was going to meet someone for sure, but what do you mean? He's not necessarily lobbying anyone.
Yeah,
I mean, he's carrying a briefcase, so fucking what? He's probably got like a laptop in there. And
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You, if you're a Heritage guy, you're in and out of GOP chambers all the time, right? So you know the drill. So what, how could you forget, and then have a baggie. If he says these are prescribed drugs, why aren't they in their pill bottles then? Nobody would have thought to test them if they were in their pill bottles with your name. You have them in little baggies. Come on, nobody was born yesterday. Nobody, like, I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday. Like, come on, like, bro, you thought you were going to get waved in. That's what that implies to me, because I've been to the Russell building 1,000 times, 1,000 million times. If they know you, they kind of just kind of flag you through, right?
Sure.
And
course.
if you're of these,
it's like whatever. Yeah.
If you're one of these think tank guys, which it seems like he is, he's one of the so-called
although he wasn't
heads.
doing a lot of thinking before he.
Right. He just think he was going to get waved through this time, so he thought he was going to I believe the pistol mag, like maybe he forgot he's a licensed carry, concealed carry guy. But the drugs. So
which might be it might be the little blue pill. Maybe he's like trying to rock out with his cock out.
Oh, I don't know. But I just know that for all the people that think that all of these, I don't care if you're on the left or the right, the politicians are like dry and boring. I refer you.
We all know better than that.
I refer you to Madison Cawthorn, the young, one-time, one and done congressman from North Carolina, the young, good-looking young man that was in a wheelchair. He blew the whistle and was like, they were trying to do unchristian things. They were trying to invite me to these sex parties with orgies and drugs and blah, blah, blah. And then Congress was in uproar over it. And he got primaried because he was like blowing the whistle about how gross everyone is. And mind you, he was a kid. He's like 26 years old or something. So this was like,
I remember that. Thank you for reminding me of that. I had totally forgotten about that.
He's a kid. So to him, this was kind of like, oh my God, like he hadn't been around this stuff before. He wasn't like a Capitol Hill page or something where you're introduced early on when you're in college, right? Where you're like, oh, so this is how things are done on Capitol Hill. He just showed up to the Capitol. He was an insurgent candidate, shows up to the Capitol, and they were like, showing like Nancy Pelosi boobs to him or something. And he was like, ah! And he blew the whistle. And he's like, oh my God, all of these old stuffy people are doing blow off of like prostitutes' buttholes.
Well,
and
it's always the boring people you have to watch out for.
So that,
that's true. Have you ever been to a hotel like where like you go to the Marriott and there's a conference going on and it's for some really boring, like, group of people, right? It's just like, who fucking knows? Like, county clerk, county legal clerks convention
association.
Yeah. And those people, and then, man, if you happen to be at the hotel bar, like at 10:30 that night, holy shit. It's like, I need someone to run a train on me. Yeah, like gangbang in my room. I mean, it's like, it's on like Donkey Kong with those people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's like in DC.
But I didn't think this from the heritage, not only heritage, but any think tank. I've been to pretty much all of them.
Also, right-wingers are always the perviest.
Probably. Lindsey Graham, whose funeral is happening right now in South Carolina. But
a time of great joy for us all.
It is a sunny day here in DC.
No matter what else is not going well, Lindsey Graham is dead. And we all have to be happy about that.
Look, it's a sunny day here because Bibi has left. Zelensky has left. It was gloomy and dark yesterday when they had Lindsey Graham's lying in state at the rotunda. But today his body has flown back home to the motherland in South Carolina. And Zelensky is gone, Bibi is gone, and the sun is shining here in DC. So is that a coincidence? Thing. Maybe it's a coincidence. I'm just pointing out that these things are happening here. And to my shock, I interview people like Mark Zandi, and all these economist egghead types, and I never really think of them as the type that would carry. I'm not saying Mark Zandi's very nice. Like this guy, I would never imagine that these Heritage Foundation guys would be packing heat and packing the party if you know what I mean.
They're not packing. He wasn't packing heat. He was packing
Part of the heat.
the thing that heat goes in, that goes into the heat.
But I'm saying he has a concealed carry, so he does carry, right? And he's
Right.
like a think tank nerd. Go
Yeah.
figure. So
Yeah,
there you
look,
go.
it's not as crazy as like the Biden nuclear dude and his
Oh, yeah.
his predilections for, other people's lady luggage.
In all fairness, as dangerous as Washington, D.C. is, if I ever went to go visit you, I can guarantee you I would be carrying.
Well,
You'd have to get it on the
here.
gun, right? On the plane.
Well,
You'd have to know if you drove here. You would have
No,
to
you
have a
can-
concealed license because it's completely illegal in the district. Like you would have to have a specific license. I know people.
I won't get it. I just do it. But
Well,
fuck them.
I know people here in Virginia that have concealed carry licenses, and before they enter the district, they stop off somewhere, I guess, before you cross over the 14th Street Bridge, and park their firearm somewhere. Because if you enter the district and you're caught with it, it is a major felony.
Let me ask you a question. Is it a constitutional right if you have to have a license? Like, do you have to have a license to practice journalism? If the answer is no, then why should I have to have a license?
In a way, you
approved by
do
the
have
state?
to have a license to get, like, for example, to be a White House press correspondent. You have to have a license. I don't think you should have to. I think anyone who wants to show up should be able to.
I agree.
Also, like,
I've been 86 from there.
And to your point further, Robbie, is the First Amendment right to freedom of expression real if you have to get a parade permit in order to have a protest demonstration?
The answer is no.
Right.
That's you getting consent from the people that you want to protest against.
Correct.
By definition, if you have to, it's just like one of the reasons why so many pastors left England and came to the United States, well, the colonial America before the Revolution, is because the Church of England and the Crown required you get a license to preach. Who are you, King George, to require me to get permission to speak Holy Writ?
It's a good question.
Go to hell. If I ever go to visit you, I will violate that stupid law. I will be carrying heat, and if some thug comes up and tries to attack me or my wife, I will kill the fucker.
Mayor Bowser's cops don't seem to pat down all of the young thug and gang members in southwest or southeast, and they're all packing. But they will certainly, and I've seen them do pat downs of random tourists who look like you. Just saying. But you can run around Southeast like shooting each other because there's like multiple gun death homicides across Southeast DC all the time. Every day.
Yeah, and my child is a good question. How do we go from modern day gun rights to pre-colonial pastor licenses? It's easy. If it is a right, you do not have to get the permission from the state to exercise it.
Or this is
that
the
is
district.
Same
No,
difference.
he means the state, like as in a government agency, like the nation state.
Oh.
That's the difference between liberty and freedom. If you have freedom, you're free to do whatever you want to do within your yard. Liberty means you are
surprisingly. Go ahead, Robbie. Finish.
No, liberty just means that you own your person, you own your body, and the only power that you give over to the state is what you consent to give for government. The Constitution is very clear. It is a list of negative rights. It is a thing that the state cannot do. That's the point, and it's been completely inverted.
And I'll say this, having lived in the district for several years and lived in Arizona when I was anchoring for CBS out there. Arizona, I don't know if it still is, but back then it was an open carry state. Technically Virginia is also, but I live in Northern Virginia where it's very deep, deep blue. So you'll never see open carry here, but you go out into the sticks a little bit, you'll see open carry and gun racks on trucks. But anyway, in Arizona, which is a border state, and people openly open carry. Granny is not afraid to show that she's packing on her hip.
Pistol
on
packing mama.
on her brand new hip, Ted. She's got a pistol on her brand new hip.
God bless her.
Grandma is safe out there, and there's less gun-related deaths in Arizona. I would say I can at least whittle it down to per capita than there are here in DC. DC is very high in gun death violence, and specifically among young, like, gangbanger types. So
we got stories to go. We got to move on.
All right. So to Robbie's point, yeah, when more people are packing, people are a little nicer.
That's true.
All right. So dinosaurs. Robbie found this one because he wanted me to share a fairy tale.
This is from the Bible.
So for decades, scientists believed the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs finished the job slowly, blocking sunlight, freezing the planet, thus collapsing the food chain over months or perhaps years. But a brand new study suggests dinosaurs may have never actually made it that far along. When the Chicxulub asteroid, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
Well, that's that's the Mexican spinoff from Chick-fil-A.
The Chicxulub asteroid, when that struck Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula some 66 million years ago, it blasted vaporized rock and debris all around the planet, right? Some of that material cooled into tiny glass-like droplets called spherules, which heated the atmosphere as they fell back to Earth. Researchers now say an overlooked layer of extremely fine dust may have trapped the heat near the surface, essentially placing a lid over the planet while the debris rained down. According to their computer modeling, the dust increased the heat reaching Earth's surface by approximately 3.5 times. That may have been enough to ignite vegetation, so like the burning bush, poof, right? And kill large...
That was my ex-girlfriend when she got an STI.
Kill large exposed animals within the first 1 to 2 hours. So theoretically, like based on this model, they're saying these big animals could have died within like hours, not months and years. So the dinosaurs' final day, in other words, may have involved less quiet shivering beneath a darkened sky and considerably more global broiling. So they got fucking barbecued. Animals hiding underground or beneath water would have had the best chance of surviving the initial heat. That could help explain why small mammals and aquatic creatures and some bird-like dinosaurs lived through that catastrophe. Scientists caution that the evidence for truly worldwide fires remain incomplete. The research is based on geological evidence and atmospheric modeling, not eyewitness testimony from any particularly unlucky triceratops.
Duh.
The dust may then have reversed roles. After trapping the initial heat, it could have then blocked out sunlight for years and years, causing that long impact winter that scientists already believe and know about. But apparently the asteroid managed to turn Earth into an oven first and then turned it into a freezer. So that's pretty interesting.
That's
I don't
absolutely
know,
terrifying.
like, can you imagine? Like, I've seen all those horror depictions of the Yucatan Peninsula, getting smacked by the asteroid. And I love that Robbie shared this story with me or with us, even though he doesn't believe it happened. But I think that's fascinating. And they can probably check with carbon dating. Just saying. So I don't know what to say about that, Ted, other than what I thought of when this article talked about like the little fine dust particles that went up into the air and then first trapped the heat and then gave us that asteroid winter, the long winter. I can only imagine all the unique chemical particles that are floating into the air and all the weather manipulation that companies, if you trace it back, owned by Bill Gates or at least funded by Bill Gates, they're doing this. They're doing exactly this. And they're calling it like a heat shield from the sun to help certain places like, I don't know, the Emirates or Saudi Arabia or whatever, to cool it down a bit. Because what can go wrong, Ted? What can go wrong if the temperatures on Earth don't stay the way nature intended it?
Nothing. Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
All right, let's Jaws it.
There you go.
Unjaws, don't forget. De-jaw.
It's done.
Okay.
I heard the Jaws sound this time, didn't you?
Yeah. I heard it before too. But you have to de-jaw it. Remember, you have to remove it.
I did.
All right. Nearly 2,200 beagles, hello Snoopy, once headed towards research labs are instead getting something radically experimental. Names, families, and lives as actual dogs. The beagles were removed from Ridgeland Farms, a Wisconsin breeding facility that supplied beagles for biomedical research. Rescue organizations have since transported them across the country for medical treatment, rehabilitation, and adoption. Some of the beagles are now learning ordinary things for the first time, walking on the grass, climbing the stairs, playing with toys, and sleeping in homes instead of cages. Many remain frightened and poorly socialized after spending their lives inside a commercial breeding system. Foster families say seemingly simple experiences, including doorways, household noises, and human affection, could initially overwhelm them. Richland had faced years of allegations involving poor conditions and mistreatment, although the company denied wrongdoing. It eventually agreed to give up its breeding license and stop selling dogs for research. About 1,500 beagles were released during one major rescue operation. Additional ones were saved through related efforts. Organizations including Big Dog Ranch Rescue and the Beagle Freedom Project are now placing the dogs in forever homes. The Beagle Freedom Project also campaigns for laws requiring labs to offer surviving dogs and cats for adoption, rather than automatically killing them when the experiments end. Scientific research is important, but we've always done it this way is not a moral defense. Obviously, the beagles were bred to be disposable research equipment. This is my blood boils at this. This kind of research, I don't care if you're doing it quote unquote humanely. I don't care if you're not going to kill them when the experiments are done. Animal research should be illegal, especially when you're talking about highly sentient mammals like dogs and cats. It should just be illegal. I don't have a lot of problem with experiments on insects, although I could change my mind about that in the future. But right now, it's really fucking obvious that there's got to be a better way. I don't know what the fuck you're using these dogs and cats for, but find another way. Stop.
I can't.
Stop.
When I read the
full,
full,
what is wrong with the human race?
The whole in-depth article on this, it was a full 4-page feature, right? So it was a long article, and I seriously got misty-eyed. I'm a big fan of doggos. I love animals in general, but I mean, the doggos are my pet of choice, and beagles in particular. Yeah, not only is it
they're so cute.
Not only are they, that's what Snoopy is, a beagle, but beagles in particular were bred into being the dogs that they are. I mean, they're hunting dogs, but they were bred to be docile and to be insanely gentle and trusting of humans. The very reason that scientists, looking at you, JDC, that you guys use beagles is that
they're easy to handle.
They're easy to, and they don't even get mad at you. They don't snap at you even after you do horrific things to them, because their nature is so docile and just loving towards humans. It keeps trusting you, even though you show it.
Even though you don't deserve it.
Not. Yeah. It was heartbreaking. And then to find out that, so they test on these animals, and then when they're done, you just fucking kill them? It's unfathomable to me that you're treating this little puppy literally like a tool, like a disposable, I don't know, syringe that you're throwing out, right? Oh God. And that there are breeders that breed specifically to give them to these.
Here's the thing is also, I'll tell you, here's the thing. whenever I smell secrecy, I smell evil. And so, all right, let's just say for the sake of argument, as John D. Rockefeller says, our resident scientist, we need this for biological, we need animal research for modern science. If that's true, then let's have a big national conversation about it. Let's have transparency. Let's have video of exactly what happens. And let's talk about it. But the truth is, this is all kept down on the DL. It's on the hush hush. It's on the down low. And they don't want the American people to know what they're doing because they think the American people would disapprove. And if that's true, then I guess no modern science, right? I mean, but basically, like, if you have a case to be made that like killing Clovis is important for saving people, then okay, you're going to have to prove that to me. You can't just like do it in the shade and hope that nobody pays attention. And that's what they're doing. And like, so we only hear about these things when like a group like PETA or ELF or ALF breaks into a lab and gets photos and puts them on the internet. And it's all kept secret because they don't want us to know. Well, this is kind of like with Fauci. If
he
you
was
don't want
a Beagle user,
if you're secretive, then I'm going to assume that you're doing this for fun, for cosmetics, for shit that's not important, not necessary, doesn't need to be done. I'm just going to assume that, and so like it's the burden of proof on torturing animals being necessary for the human race. That burden of proof is on the would-be torturers. It is not on the burden of proof is not on animal rights people to prove that they're not needed for science.
Yeah. JDC says, in fairness, I have never used a beagle. In fact, I own a research beagle as a pet. That's nice. However, you do not get to enjoy the benefits of modern medicine while simultaneously condemning the methods.
Can we all know what the methods are, though, JDC?
It's probably too long to list, but like I get that you have to test it on something that's alive, probably, right? And like their I don't know, genetic makeup or something has to be similar enough, I guess.
What exactly are you testing? What exactly are you testing?
I feel like
if you're testing a cancer drug, I get it. But what are you testing?
At this point in history, in time, in 2026, I feel like there are other modes that we can use for testing, and not fucking beagles, not dogs, not puppy. Like, I don't know. If you have to, I don't even want to say like I don't know, the animals that are about to be killed. I don't know. I just don't, at the shelters. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of using any of these animals at this stage. We've come so far in science. Like we can do so much. We can make fake beef that bleeds, right? "Quote unquote bleeds."
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Manila, because I was kind of thinking about that. Like, what about we could grow flesh in a lab?
Yeah.
Is that possibly part of the solution?
Like, it breaks my heart. Thousands of dogs were rescued, Ted. Thousands. Like, how many dogs are going to these labs around the country? Like,
yeah, JDC says, to be clear, I don't in any way advocate for animal use for stuff like cosmetics and BS like that. I use research animals for testing immune responses and host pathogen interactions. I mean, that if there's a justification, it's going to be there, but I still think there should be transparency.
If it could potentially cause suffering, like I couldn't. I mean, fathom.
We don't even need cosmetics. Cosmetics shouldn't even be legal.
Why don't we just
get rid of cosmetics? No cosmetics.
Why don't we just do it on pedophiles and drug dealers? Leave the animals
I'm okay
alone.
with that.
I'm serious. Think about what I just said. No, the animal has no choice. If you go and if you commit a crime like that,
newspaper publishers.
I mean, listen, I have no problem with, let's say, Dr. Fauci getting a dose of his own medicine in the most literal sense.
He was a prolific beagle user.
That's true.
He used to use fleas and put their heads in cages and let the fleas just eat their flesh off. I mean, the man is a ghoul.
Like, This is heartbreaking. And yes, that's timely because he's on the Hill right now and he keeps saying, I'm using my constitutional
The
Fifth
well-dressed
Amendment
nerd
right.
says, no testing on cute animals. Test on ugly animals instead, like hyenas and adult possums.
Ooh, yeah.
That's
Nobody
hilarious.
has sympathy. Nobody has sympathy for a hyena. And our adult possum. Yeah, I guess possums are
Possums
just
are nasty.
ugly.
Yeah.
They are ugly.
Actually,
nobody really
they
has
have kind of a
sympathy for them.
cute face if you look up close.
No, as babies they do, but then once they reach maturity, they're
I had a pet possum.
Full size?
Yeah, full size. I mean, he would curl up, expecting in the wintertime, like he'd curl up next to me up under the bridge and stuff, and he was great.
Oh my God.
Because
He's so cute.
I mean, they just did a
Did
really
you carry
good
him
job.
with you, or did he like?
He just followed me.
He just
followed me
you?
around. Yeah, well, because we're both eating in the same places, so it was just. I mean, seriously. I mean, that possum was great. She had a bunch of little babies, and they were just.
Yeah, possums are pretty cute, I have to say.
When they're little, I don't know about when they're
even
big.
when they're
I've never
adults.
seen a nice one. I don't know, but anyway,
mean,
yeah, they don't tend to get.
Porcupines would be hard to
sympathy.
handle.
Hedgehogs are cute.
Very cute.
Those are cute, but I don't know about possums. But yeah, like I don't know. Any animal testing, I'm a sucker. Like, look, we're all meat eaters on this show. We're not saying like, oh, you should go all vegan and whatever. And I don't believe that at all.
Phileas Fogg goes, what good would transparency do if someone like Ted would just reject it and say, as a non-scientist, I want to know why you don't just do X instead? You know, that's the arrogance that I'm talking about among elites, right? Like, oh, we know better. You know, we know better than the American people whether we're going to tell them that about N95 masks and whether they have efficacy or not. We're going to decide that for you. We're going to decide for, you know, the American people whether we're going to be an animal research country or not. You know, the danger of democracy and freedom, where we all get to weigh in, is that everybody, including retards like me, get a vote. And so I do think, like, if you want to do something that goes counter to something that feels really basic, which is don't hurt animals, if you want to do that, you've got to explain yourself. You just do. And if you can't explain yourself, then you're not going to be able to do it. And I'm sorry, I don't think I'm sorry to inconvenience you to have to explain yourself while you're fucking, you know, executing beagles. But yeah, you're going to have to explain yourself. Under a Ted Rall administration, you will have to explain yourself.
Would you be with me in drawing a distinction? I mean, being that we love animals on this show, all of us, but there is a distinction between this beagle story and, say, animals that we eat, like cows and chicken. Even though I fucking hate the factory farm, like, just all of that stuff is gross and disgusting. But if we're going to eat, there is a difference between using the animals for eating versus testing them.
What's your point?
Them. I mean, there is a distinction, right? Like, we can't.
Yeah, of
we
course,
can't
they're
be
not the same. They're
love
not the
them
same.
all. Don't kill them.
They're not the same thing.
No,
yeah.
I want to eat them. I want to eat some.
Well, I mean, what you do with in the factory egg laying facilities is just as bad as what they do in the in the labs. I mean, they cut the chicken's legs off, dump them full of jugs, and they just constantly lay. They lay literally until they die. Ugh. So there's no real difference there. The difference is it comes down to being a steward of what you have and the rape of the natural world. Those are two very different things.
Yeah, I think that's something like Native Americans. Well, you would know better than us, Robbie. I mean, I only lived next door to some natives in Arizona, but you're amongst many tribes. That was part of a lot of how they view the world, right? Is like you take what you need and that's it.
Yeah, well, Christianity is the same thing. Like if you read biblical law, it talks about, like, if you're going to go get some eggs out of a nest, you take the eggs, but you don't kill the mama bird. So I mean, if you have to live off the land, you learn that you have to live off the land. There's a difference between fleecing the sheep and filleting the sheep. Those are two very different things. And where we are right now as a society, and especially with the need of making a profit off of everything, is that the only way that you can do it with shrinking profit margins is that you have to increase production to the point where you can overcome it. That's where we are right now, and that's the problem. And it doesn't matter if it's cosmetics, which I agree with Ted, are stupid. There's no point in it. Versus, testing animals for medicines. I get that. I can understand it. That would be a case. I wasn't being flippant about it. If you are convicted of murder, of pedophilia, or something, you should be the test pig, and not some beagle who didn't do anything wrong. Test it on the predator.
Ugh.
I'm
Yeah, I
dead
can
serious.
get behind that. No sympathy there. So, but these fucking thousands of beagles are now looking for homes. So if you guys are like looking for a cute, docile dog that needs to learn what a bed feels like and what a family feels like, I'll tell you guys the name again of these foundations. Like, this is one of them down in Florida, in Robbie's motherland. So it's called Big Dog Ranch Rescue and Beagle Freedom Project. So they are looking for permanent homes for these thousands of rescued beagles, varying in ages, from puppies to old timer survivor test dogs. Like, oh, sad. But anyway, there's your weird news for Wednesday. That does it for us. So we out. Yes, Robbie.
Yeah.
And we're rating. Do we have an ad we have to do before we out?
I don't see any ads, but a quick thing. So Pickaxe, friend of the show, ran by friend of the show, Jeff Dornick. Some of y'all may be interested in this. At noon today, 2 o'clock Eastern, or 2 p.m. Eastern time, Dinesh D'Souza will be debating J.D. Hall on Pickaxe's Rumble channel about has the church replaced Israel? So that's going to be a really wild debate. It definitely pulls into the political discussion, especially when it comes to Zionism. Take a look at that. And yeah, I did find this a little gaming channel. The dude has 7 followers on his channel.
So
we're going to rate him.
We're going to rate him. And then we do have an ad from Rumble Wallet. So we'll just go ahead and throw that up there on our way out. All right. So we hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part
get ready for Q&A.
Here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today. Everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's exactly why we use Rumble Wallet here on this show. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, your debit card, or bank, and be up and running in just a couple minutes. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like us directly. So do this now. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a couple minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some.
Very cool.
All right. So that does it for Weird Wednesday. Oh, and that was a sad, like, if you guys need a puppy, go get that. Go get those puppies, those rescued puppies. Like, they're all over the country now because there's thousands of them.
Yep. Oh. And we are about to make this guy's day. He literally has 7 followers on his channel.
Oh,
so let's make somebody happy.
There you are. All right. Adios, amigos. Have a happy hump day. Bye-bye.
Let's go ahead and do this.